Name of Allah, the most merciful, the most kind. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you are hale and hearty. Today we'll continue our lesson first year at Harrow. Look at the second last paragraph. In consequence of his decision, I was in due course placed in the third or lowest division of fourth, or bottom. The name of new boys were printed in the school list in alphabetical order, and as my correct name, Spencer Churchill, began with an S, I gained no more advantage from alphabet than from the widest sphere of letters. I was in fact only two from the bottom of whole school, and these two, I regret to say, disappeared almost immediately through illness or some other cause. I continued in this unpretentious situation for nearly a year. However, by being so long in lowest form, I gained an immense advantage over the cleverer boys. They all went on to learn Latin and Greek and splendid things like that. But I was taught English. We were considered such terms that we could learn only English. Mr. Somerville, a most delightful man, to whom my debt is great, was charged with the duty of teaching the stupidest boys the most disregarding thing, namely to write mere English. In consequence of, it means hence, therefore, as a result. In due course mean proper cause, finally. Regret, repent, feel sorry about. Debt, thankful, grateful. Disregarded, insulted. Students, as the writer didn't write any answer in his Latin paper, but Mr. Weldon took the broad-minded view of his paper, as he was capable man and he valued the slight hands of the writer's learning. So he selected him for admission to Harrow. But the writer was placed in the lowest section. The reason, as you know, that he didn't do well in his entrance test. Moreover, he says that in his school, the list was not prepared in accordance with merit. The name of the boys were printed alphabetically in the school list. The full name of the writer was Spencer Churchill. His name, Spencer Churchill, was placed at number 3 from the bottom. After some time, the last two boys left the school for some reason. Thus, his name stood at the bottom of the list. According to the scheme of the school, Churchill was selected to be taught English because his class groups was considered dull. Only the intelligent boys were taught Latin, Greek, and other noble. Mr. Somerville was Churchill's English teacher. Sir Somerville was very delightful man. He was very intelligent and hardworking. He knew how to teach in an effective way. Churchill remembered him with great regard and respect. He knew how to do it. He taught it as no one else ever taught it. Not only did we learn English parsing thoroughly, but we also practiced continually English analysis. Mr. Somerville had a system of his own. He took a fairly long sentence and broke it up into components by means of black, red, blue, and green inks. Subject, verb, object, relative clause, conditional clauses, conjunctives, and disjunctive clauses. Each had its color and its brackets. It was a kind of drill. We did it almost daily. As I remained in the third 3 times as long as anyone else, I had 3 times as much of it. I learned it thoroughly. Thus, I got into my bones the essential structure of ordinary British sentences, which is a noble thing. And when, in after years, my school fellows who had won prizes and distinctions for writing such beautiful Latin poetry and pretty Greek epigrams had to come down again to common English to earn their livings or make their way. I did not feel myself at any disadvantage. Naturally, I biased in favor of the boys learning English. I would make them all learn English and then I would let the clever one learn Latin as an honor and Greek as a treat. But the only thing I would whip them for is not knowing English. I would whip them hard for that. Get something into bones means master, grasp, pithy, concise, compact. Epigram, saying, proverbs, maxim come down to decline, fall, drop, passing, grammatical description, living, livelihood. Make their way, progress, biased, prejudice, partial, treat, entertainment, joy, fun, whip, lash, flog, drill, exercise, practice. Here, the writer says that Mr. Somerville selected long sentence and broke the sentence into subject, verb, object, clauses, conditional clauses with black, red, blue, and green inks. It was a kind of practice. This made his method of teaching more effective. Churchill got an ample opportunity to learn English. The writer learned English parsing thoroughly. They continually practiced English analysis daily. In this way, he had full grip over the English. It means that he learned English fully. In this way, the essential structure of the English got into his bones. He stayed in the third form for 3 years. The learning of English helped Churchill a lot in his daily affairs and practical life. He felt no difficulties in daily affairs of life. With the help of English, he became a good writer, orator. He became dynamic officer and a successful British politician. He says that his intelligent class fellows and school fellows, those who preferred Latin and Greek to English, later on they had to learn English to earn their living. Churchill allows the clever boys to learn Latin and Greek as an honor and trade, but they must learn English first. He says that he would punish them for not learning English. Let's have the review of the lesson. Number one, writer of the story. Sir Winston Churchill Spencer is the writer of the story. Number two, examination as an inhospitable region. Dear students, as you know, examinations are always examination. For Churchill, examinations were a great burden and trial. He could not do well in those examinations. Favorite subject of the writer? Poetry, history, and essay writing. Favorite subject of the examiners? Latin and mathematics. Complaint against the writer? Churchill wanted to be examined in poetry, history, and essay writing, but examiner wanted to examine him in Latin and mathematics. So he didn't do well in exam. Churchill admission test at Harrow. The writer did not do well in his Latin paper. He was unable to answer the single question. His attempt of Latin paper, when a paper was given to the writer, he just wrote his name at the top of the answer sheet. After much reflection, He wrote question number 1 and then put brackets around it. And after 2 hours, the usher collected the paper from him. Intelligence of Mr. Weldon. Mr. Weldon, the headmaster, was very intelligent person. He was a man of sound judgment. He could see beneath the surface of the things. He concluded from Churchill's paper that he was able to pass at Harrow. Name of the students were written alphabetically. The writer was placed in the third last list because the names were written alphabetically and his real name was Spencer Churchill. Only the two students were after him. And those two students left the school for some reason, so he was at the bottom of the list. Learning of English. At that time, it was thought that the dull students could learn English only, as the writer did not show any good performance in the admission test, so he was put in the section where English was taught only to the weaker student. Somerville's method of teaching. Writer's English teacher was Mr. Somerville. He was very dutiful teacher. He taught them parsing of sentences. He took fairly a long sentence and broke up into its components by means of black, red, blue, and green ink. Each word or a part of speech has its own colors and brackets. Churchill and English language. Churchill liked his mother tongue. He says that one should learn English with love and devotion, as English is an international language. Benefit of learning English. Churchill learned English grammar thoroughly. This helped him a lot in his practical life and he felt no difficulty in his daily routine work. He became a good writer and orator and afterwards the Prime Minister of Britain. Churchill's view. Churchill's view about the importance of English are quite correct. English has now become the language of learning and knowledge. All the scientific and the technical knowledge exists in English language. Moreover, English is an international language. Exercise. Question number 1. The writer says that the examiners ask questions which students cannot answer and not those which they can answer. Is the complaint just? Answer. The complaint is not just. The intelligent and hard-working students can answer any question. Only the dull student and weak student complain so. Question number 2. What sort of question are asked by your examiners? Answer. Our examiners ask both easy and difficult questions which cover the whole syllabus. They ask questions that can distinguish a hard-working student from an ordinary one. Question number 3. Why did not Churchill do well in examination? Churchill couldn't do well in examination because he wished to be asked what he knew, but the examiner put him questions which he didn't know. He was examined in Latin and mathematics, which he disliked. He was not examined in history and essay writing, which he liked. As a result, he failed in examination. Question number 4. How did he attempt his Latin paper? In the Latin paper, he just wrote his name at the top of answer sheet. After much thought, he wrote question number 1 and then put brackets around it. Then unknowingly, he put a blot and some smudges on it. He left the entire paper blank. He kept gazing at it for 2 hours until the examiner or attendant collected his paper. Question number 5. Churchill was taught English at Harrow and not Latin and Greek. Was it a gain or a loss? At Harrow, Churchill was taught English thoroughly. The essential structure of English got into his bone. He became a good writer, distinguished orator, dynamic army officer, and a successful politician. And he was able to earn his livelihood. And he felt no difficulty in his practical life. So it was a great gain for him. Question number 6. What good did his 3 year stay at Harrow do to him? Answer. During his 3 year stay at Harrow, Churchill learnt English grammar thoroughly. This helped him a lot in his practical life. He became a good writer and afterward the Prime Minister. Although he could not pass the fourth class for 3 years, he learned English grammar 3 times more than other students, which stood him in good stead in practical life. Question number 7. In after years, how did the knowledge of English stand him in a good stead? Churchill was considered a dull student. He was taught English, not Latin and Greek. He could not pass his fourth class for 3 years. In this way, he learnt English 3 times more than other students. The essential structures of English grammar got into his bones. He faced no difficulty in daily affairs of life due to his knowledge of English language. He became a good writer and a successful politician. Thus, teaching of English was a gain for Churchill. Question number 8. Write in appreciation or criticism of Churchill's views with regard to the study of Latin, Greek, and English and their value in earning a living. In this age, Greek and Latin have no importance. Instead, English has become international language. All the modern knowledge is found in English. Therefore, the man who knows English thoroughly can understand national and international issues. He can also earn his living easily. Hence, I think that Churchill's view about English are absolutely correct. Moreover, everyone should be biased in favor of his national language. I hope you have understood the lesson. Inshallah, next week we will take the test. You have to prepare the test and you have to take the test. Stay happy, stay blessed.